Welcome to the podcast that always starts at its scheduled time and has no technical issues. I don't even think we have an official name. Like we're still rocking some of the NCP branding. When I
Or the
titled the YouTube,
NCP.
what'd you say?
I think it's still the NCP.
Yeah, it still carries the NCP legacy, but when I put the YouTube videos out, I title it SPL recap, but it's the NCP. The NCP is back. I'm here with Colin and Hamilton. This past weekend we had our draft for season 3. So as you can see here on our gorgeous website, shouts out to Colin, shouts out to Shell. That is now published and live. Hamilton, how are you feeling about season 3?
I'm excited. I think we've got some really fun changes, and I think that I think that we've been getting better every season, but I do think that this change will really be unique to season 3, and it'll be a much different season. I'm curious to know what we come up with halfway through season 3 for season 4, because I feel like we still might make changes there. But I'm really excited for season 3 for now.
Yeah, I actually have no idea how we could improve this, which is a pretty cool spot to be in. But I definitely think that we'll think of something, because there's always room for growth. I mean, Hamilton, when we started this, I don't think we had any idea the lengths that Colin would take, um, the automation, coding, and quality of life improvements. Colin,
Yep.
how are you feeling about season 3?
I'm pumped. I have spent more time than I'd like to admit making everything work and look good and trying to make things as easy as possible for all of our managers because I was super excited about fitness and I just really want everything to work well, and the best way it works well is if it's easy for all of our players. So I'm just excited for high participation, and I think stats are going to go so hard this season.
If you are a manager to the podcast, which is the only type of person who would ever be listening to the podcast, submit rosters. The only way that all this incredible work that Colin has made so easy breaks down is if you just don't do your one job, which is just to fill out a form every week. So please do it. It's super easy. Heck, I could even do it right now if I wanted to. All you do is
And
click
you
those
submitted
couple
two forms,
links.
by the way.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Ham submitted two forms. I forgot I had that open. Um, if you click submit, give it a second. It'll go in eventually.
Fun bad.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It
But
lags.
it's it's
It's not an efficient website. It's slow. Give it some time, but it works.
it works and it even makes your job easy. Look, I try and put in my dry bones. Tells me next week he's only gonna have one fitness. You literally can't mess it up. You can't even put the same sidekick in twice.
It will not let you submit.
Okay, it won't let me submit. You can't put the same sidekick in twice.
You can put it in. You can't submit it.
Yeah, but genuinely, just to kind of reiterate, like every season, it feels like we've taken like a big leap, and I think season 2 went almost perfectly. So the fact that we're this excited about the changes that we made, um, I think I've said this multiple times to multiple people, but I feel like we've kind of created our own esport at this point. And I feel like the sort of game, I'm doing quotes with my fingers right now, that we play is deep enough where someone who like wasn't even like interested in the social aspect or anything could find like fun in it. It's super super cool. Um but we did the first step, which was our draft this weekend. We ran the newly founded minor league strikers draft first and came up with some interesting teams. Um, how do you guys feel that the draft went for tier 2? Hamilton, I'll start with you. Just kind of like, what was that experience like? This is our first time running with, drafting 2 captains, drafting five sidekicks. What was that like?
I think that going first with the minor league strikers was definitely not to our advantage. Just not knowing where anyone was going or anything like that. Um, Learning on the fly, if you will. Um, but I'm ecstatic. I didn't get a princess, which is really all I was after this year in the draft.
Screw
Um,
you. It's not your fault.
um, Colin might be upset because I helped Reed not get a princess either, but remains to be seen why I'm being told to screw off. Um,
That would be why.
but I genuinely think that the draft was a lot of fun. It was pretty interesting, just seeing where other people valued certain people. Um, I remember I was pick three I was personally debating between Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Wario. And the fact that Wario fell all the way to the second round was very surprising to me. Um, but I mean, that's just kind of Wario used to be the number one overall pick, and now he's a second rounder because we have two sidekicks on each team.
It's really funny. Like literally, the first season draft was it was just a roulette. It was just a wheel. There was no real strategy to it. You know, the only thing that you could think of was just to draft the best captain possible, and we didn't even know who that was.
Yeah.
And now, like, there's like there was like a meta game to it. Like before the draft, I was thinking about things, and like I was like, I'm gonna try and build something completely different depending on what position I'm in, which was really cool. Like from like captains down to sidekicks. Um, Colin, what was it like getting the number one pick?
I really, it was interesting. This is my second time having the number one pick. Um, After season one, I had it as well. I didn't want it this season. I kind of wanted something in the four range with the potential to get maybe two shooting captains on the turnaround if things went well, but guarantee one and then get a mid captain. Yeah, they've captains are nuts. But I got what I think is the best captain available with the number one pick in PD Piranha, and then I took two dry bones and a toad. Um, in my mind, that those four characters might be the best combination you can throw out on a field. Um, we are gonna have to run a daisy out there at least once every 3 games, so we'll see what happens down the line.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the team that I changed things up because we had that capability in season one, but that's pretty much the team that I ran to the championship, only to fall to four dry bones. Um, but yeah, no, number one was an interesting place to be. I feel like that's kind of where you had the most straightforward path, and I think you played it super well. But let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. So we're going to be doing a tier list of draft grades. So this is how. I mean, I don't even really know. It's kind of a whole separate conversation of what was a good place and what was a bad place in the draft. I think that you could end up with a pretty valid thing, no matter where. Like I think there's a like you could end up with a good team no matter what place you were in. But we'll certainly have to open the table up to that. But basically, grading how captains did in the draft. And so we'll start off with MLS, which is minor league strikers, are tier two. So that's these teams here. And so captains are going to represent on the tier list. This is Colin, PD Piranha. Bowser is Hamilton. Bowser Jr. is David. Yoshi is Reed. Waluigi is Jake, and I'm missing someone.
Garrett,
Garrett,
Donkey Kong.
Garrett is Donkey Kong.
I was filling out the rosters so many times for each division, and I forgot Garrett every single time. I could never remember that he was in the second division.
It almost doesn't feel
He doesn't
right.
deserve to be there.
Worked so hard.
He did get last in the whatever. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's
It's
do
just
it.
gonna take me so long to remember who is who.
Yep. Colin is PD. Hamilton's Bowser.
I'd recommend going to the No Consolation website because it's really cool and has all the rosters pulled up.
Yeah, I should definitely pull
That's
that
a
up
good
on my
idea.
other monitor.
I'm also gonna do that on my other roster.
This is impossible. But holy crap.
Well, you guys are pulling those up. I'll go really fast.
Yeah.
And I want to put David in no lower than A tier His captains are nuts. He got a hammer bro, and then I feel like the rest of his picks are pretty solid. Um,
His team's
Especially
good.
for being fifth in the draft. Um, I feel like he's got some balance in what his sidekicks can do. Like I have a feeling that a lot of captains this year are going to be pretty good, just because they have a lot of sidekicks and captains. So I want to put him in A.
Put him in A,
I'll
not
leave.
S.
Well, I'm gonna leave some room. I don't know that I'll put anyone above him, but I'll let someone else decide if they want to put someone above him.
Okay. Um,
That's a good.
we're
That's
going
a
in
good roster.
reverse alphabetical order this time. So that means we go to
Oh, so
Colin.
that means it's me. Um, I'm gonna take Garrett. Roster Donkey Kong, Luigi, Hammer Row, Toad, Boost, Shy Guy. Double Hammer Row is interesting. I don't know if we've seen Double Hammer Row in a long time on the rock field at the same time. So we'll see if he does that or if he spreads them out a little more. Two passings and a balanced. I think he's got two solid captains. I would put him in B tier.
I would point out that at some point, I believe he does have to run double hammer bro.
Which worked out great for Shell in season 1.
Yeah.
I just need the shit out of my computer. I'm gonna place Colin, Mr. Peter Piranha. Um, and I'm gonna put him in S. I
Oh,
think from the position that he was in, he really could not have built a better team. I think there's nothing that needs to be
I
said
forgot
about
it's
Mr.
draft.
What's up?
I forgot it's draft rankings and not team rankings.
Yeah, no, this is I think from the number one position, this is like what you have is exactly what you want. So I'm gonna say this in terms of draft performance, I think you nailed it.
Thank you,
Hamilton.
sir.
I'm gonna take some low hanging fruit here, and I'm gonna put Jake at the bottom. We'll say C because I don't think anyone's gonna go below C. Yeah.
Right.
Very clearly didn't know a lot about what was going on, and getting stuck with Peach as your second captain is not ideal. Also, three Birdos is pretty tough to look at. Um,
I'd say they're pretty
so
nice to look at.
that's fair. He's got to win over Colin. That's guaranteed, and Colin's supposed to be pretty good. um, but
No,
no,
if there's three, it's fine. Two, I
we'll
don't want to
see how
see.
his team performs, but I he doesn't have a lot of trade value, and he doesn't have a lot of people that anyone's after.
Outside of Waluigi, like, could you have made a worse team?
I mean, if the last two were Booze instead of a Koopa and a Shy Guy, I would argue that might be worse.
I'd say the Boos might mesh with the Birdos better than the Shy Guy Koopa might.
Fair.
But yeah, I have made a new tier called the Rook. But Hamilton said he wanted him in C, so he can hang out there for now. But I think he might be getting moved down to the Rook later on.
I think him being in C is a disservice to the people in B.
He's going back in the Rook.
Because
All right,
B
Colin.
means you did a good job for the most part.
Yeah.
I want to take Hamilton, and I would like to put him in A tier. I mean, with a potential for S. You have the 3 pick. You secure Bowser. I think that's a steal at the 3. You get Mario on the turnaround, balance captain. You can make him work. You can win games. You still end up with a dry bones. You get a Hammer Bro who's shown a lot of utility. Koopa, Shy Guy are pretty balanced. They can, in a league where you have to change rosters a lot, they're good glue guys. And you have the one remaining Birdo. Uh, let's see what happens. See what happens there. But I think you did a great job, and you built a much better team than last season.
No princesses, baby.
Hamilton, you feeling a little bit better coming off the draft?
I'm just hoping to get more wins than last season.
Was it 3?
Well,
I-
it was 2 game
3
wins.
game wins,
2
2
game
game
wins.
wins.
Well, I can tell you he's probably got 4 as I pick up the rook. That's probably 4 game wins right there. And I'd be hard pressed if he didn't get more after that. All right, that leaves. Come on, you Jacobs, or
No,
come on, Mr. Monty.
that's Reed.
No.
Oh wait.
That's Reed.
Oh, the Reed. Oh, Reed's team's kind of trash. I'm not gonna lie. He didn't get.
Hey,
He did not get double DB, which he very much should have from that position. Does he have a
Yep.
second captain?
yeah,
Diddy
it's
Kong right
Diddy,
there, round 6.
and I'm
Okay.
upset about it.
The only pick he did live.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Uh, when I compare this team to the likes of the other 4 good teams, I think that he definitely belongs below. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put him in. I'm gonna put him in a pretty clear C tier. I do think he will get a couple upset wins with Yoshi. And
I mean,
when he
those
has
first 4's a good roster.
yeah, when he has this, but when he has a solid team out there, it's just that it's not great. And Reed, I know that you aren't listening, but ban Wastelands. It is your only hope. I know it goes against everything you learned from your rookie season, but please ban Wastelands. It's not the same. It's not the same. All right. Opening it up to the floor. Does anyone have any moves that they would like to make? Right now we have Colin alone in S. We have Dave and Ham in A together. Garrett in B. Reed, not Jacob in C, and the Rook alone in his own named category.
I think David should move to S.
I would
I forgot
agree.
that this was draft rankings, and so from the 5th, 2 very, very solid captains, and a Hammer Bro still, and a Toad for passing, and then some balance. I think that's a very solid team, and will be problems, especially because both captains can win.
Yeah, and he can pick and choose. He doesn't have like a B captain. He can kind of choose based on matchup who he likes better.
Yeah,
Not that they don't have the exact same stats, but that's another thing he has going for him where he can fully tailor his sidekicks, knowing his captains pretty much do the same thing.
yeah.
That's
The
the
one's got
crazy
more
thing that it
Mega
does not
Strike.
matter what week you play him.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the
I mean,
same.
Wario's got more Mega Strike capability, but other than that, they're pretty much the same.
I don't have
Um,
anything else that really jumps out me. I agree, Ham. I was thinking the exact same thing.
I think for draft performance, that's good. If it was like predictions, I might drop myself down just because I do have to trot out Daisy every once in a while. But draft performance, there wasn't really anything I could do to avoid that except for going Diddy in a mid tier round, which isn't realistically any better.
Yeah. And the gap between Daisy and Did is less than the gap between those two and Peach. I feel
Yeah.
like if we look at history, I mean, Daisy probably has about as many wins, if not actually definitely more than the Did. So
Probably, yeah.
I
I
think
can
that's
look that
fair.
up actually.
Let me look at Garrett one more time. Double hammer, bro. That's
Each
interesting.
one has
I thought you might be. It wasn't bad if I thought he would just always have a
12.
Hammer Bro out there, but the sense that he has to have 1 week where he has 2, I don't love. Um,
It's also big for trade. That's honestly
it's fair.
a smart pickup because someone down the season will probably make an offer for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't really know what he would stand to gain, but he could probably he has a little bit of flexibility. And I mean, you could would I already know what the answer is, but would you if Garrett tried to package you Luigi and a Hammer Bro for a shooting captain and a sidekick you didn't like, would you take it?
Not a shooting captain, no.
What
No.
about DK and a hammer bro for one of your god tier captains?
Because I have a hammer, bro, my answer is no.
I don't have a hammer, bro. I don't think I'd want to downgrade my god tier captain while also keeping my terrible captain also on the roster. It would have to be like a double captain swap.
My question would be, would he be able to throw at you like hammer bro and I'm trying to figure out what he could like. I'm looking at like trying to package for dry bones from Colin, who has two, like essentially a hammer bro for dry bones trade, and it might just be a straight swap there, but I don't know if Colin would do that.
Not
Depends on how
right
the
off the
season's
bat
going.
because I could have drafted a hammer bro there, and
That's
I
fair.
intentionally
And
chose the dry bones.
I'm not saying like tomorrow, but
Yeah,
like potentially later in the season if you're like, I need someone who can
down
actually
the
shoot.
line, if I thought I needed a little more passing and a little more shooting or something, maybe. Maybe if I was like, I really need to get a win out of Daisy or something, try to get a hammer bro up there with her
Now my question is,
potential.
would you trade? Would you do the Luigi and Boo for Daisy and a
No.
Dry Bones?
Oh, no.
Ooh,
Interesting. I'd have to think about that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
That's
don't know
down the
that.
line.
I don't
Sticking
know
with
who
my boys
wins
off
that
the
trade.
start.
Is what I'm going to throw out there, but I just thought that that was a interesting trade that like someone like that's closer to like fair market value in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that out of all the thought experiments we just had, that was the best one. That was the first one where I was like, "Oh shit."
I'm just a boo hater.
So in light of that entire conversation, do we think that Garrett deserves to go up into A or stay in B?
I see no reason to not put him in A. If I'm going to be honest, like he didn't do bad for sure. I forget he had 4. I can't hate any of his picks,
Yeah,
and
there were no dry bones on the board for him.
I feel like it's stupid to put him in B before the season starts.
Actually, the more I look at the board, the more I like that second Hammer Bro pickup. That was kind of crafty. Yeah. All right. Well, that is our tier 2. We got Colin. I'm trying to use this as a practice exercise.
Dave.
Then Dave and S, Ham and Garrett and A, Reed alone in C, and Jake alone in the Rook. We reset the board to talk SPL, the real meat and potatoes. What sells the tickets? Which is Eric, myself, Danny, Jacob, Freddie, and Adam. There we go. We have everyone who is important or essential to the functioning of SPL all in one league together. Anyone who cares about the league, all the good managers, all there in one league. But we had our own draft. And so representing those people, Eric, once again, is going to have Petey.
A lot of legacy up here.
Yep. Danny has Bowser. Freddie has Waluigi.
Jacob has Yoshi.
Jacob has Yoshi.
It's 4 legacy captains.
I have Wario. And
Adam has
Adam has
Diddy.
Adam has the Did. Did makes himself onto the board. Okay. Reverse alphabetical order. Let's continue it. Hamilton, who are you placing first?
I gotta look at all these now. 1 second.
Yeah.
I've got one. I'm ready.
Thank
I'm
you
ready to rip.
for putting that in there on your screen because I thought Eric had the first overall pick. and then
Mhm.
you, and then Danny, the order it is on the website compared to the order of the draft.
The website was made before the draft order. It's just
Yeah.
random in the order of which I thought of people's names.
And that's fine. I just was like, I was about to be like, how did Eric not get a single dry bones?
Hmm.
Oh,
You want Colin to go first?
sure.
I can
Sorry.
go. I want to take Jacob and I want to put him in S tier. Yoshi, good captain. Donkey Kong, good captain. Mr. Monty, the best sidekick in the league. He got in round 4. He's not a dry bones, but he outperforms him. I like a Hammer Row. I like a Koopa. Toad and Alberto on the back end. No complaints.
And he won't make any changes, so he's right.
He has
He's
to,
not.
and he will. I was talking to him the other day. He's ready to roll.
I'll go now.
Okay.
I'd like to put Danny in S tier. I'm afraid of Danny's team, and I didn't put it together until like the draft ended. But him doubling up on sidekicks means that he can go, like he can trot out a dry bones, a Monty, and a Koopa, and then double up on dry bones, and then I think go back to dry bones, Monty, Koopa. Like if he does double dry bones, Monty, and then just alternate between those, and that's a very stacked, in my mind, sidekick pool. Plus, having Bowser. The week of Peach is just a week that he's not winning, but that happens.
Yeah, I mean he could. Well, I think we saw double DB Monty. I think David ran that last season, and it still wasn't good.
Yeah, no. His
Um,
only hope is that he plays Adam that week twice.
great segue. Adam, I'll put him in D. Oh,
D for
That's
Diddler and
generous.
Daisy.
D for. I mean, it's better. Like his sidekick lineup is great.
Yeah,
He's
His
got a
his
good team of
captains are
sidekicks.
atrocious.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that his team as a whole is better than Jake's team. So I don't want to put him in F, but yeah, it's bad. Um, and I don't really see any path forward to him. I think that he is sixth spot in tier one is automatically relegated, and I think that's Adam. But D stands for did today. Colin.
Oh, I'm up again. Who is left? We've got Eric, we've got Austin, and we've got Freddie still on the board. I'm gonna make Hamilton pick Austin, and I'm gonna go with Eric. Petey at the 2. Got Luigi on the turnaround. Hammer Boo picks up his boy Shy Guy. Booberto. I think that's an A tier draft. Looking at that. Eric said he was gonna try this season. And I think he made the plays to make his team the best, which left him with Luigi and Danny with 2 dry bones. But I think he made that to make himself better, and I respect that. Um, Sidekicks are interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about the round 4 Boo, but I'm a Boo hater, so I don't know. We'll make it work probably.
It's a solid team.
I I am curious to know if Danny would have gone and picked up Luigi in 2 or 3 if Eric hadn't
If
taken him. Like, could
if I
Eric have
was in
gone
that
dry
position, I
bones?
would have.
I agree, but I'm just curious. Also, I'm going to ask: Is Mario that much? Is the drop to Mario that much of a drop?
I probably
That
also would have
it's
taken Mario if he was available in the season or in the tier 2 draft.
Yeah, but
uh,
I think Mario was available for Danny.
yeah.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And so my question is, like, would you have taken dry bones in round 2 if you're Eric, knowing that you're either getting Mario or Luigi in round 3?
True. That's
Um,
probably a good move, but yeah. I didn't even see that.
Captains were weird in the SPL draft as well. All I'll say.
Yeah.
And some people do hold Luigi in incredibly high regard.
Yeah. I mean, he's. All I'm gonna say is he's outperformed Mario 2 seasons in a row. For whatever reason you want to put out there, and if you're going to disagree with me about last season, I will hear that argument. But in my opinion, he has outperformed Mario 2 seasons in a row.
I think it's fair. I mean, both in terms of results and in terms of statistics, he ever so slightly edged him out. So
Sure.
that is outperformance. Who just did that? Was that Colin?
Colin.
That was me.
Does that mean it's Hamilton?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to pick Austin.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to.
I just don't know where I want to put you. It's up there. I'm trying to figure out if it's. I think it's going to be A. I love your first 3 rounds. Also a big Boo hater, and so Boo in the 5th was a bit of a pull for me. But I also think I
Got
don't have
towed
a good
on
draft.
got towed at the end.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. Like Boo in the 5th is a weird pick for me just because the MLS draft was so different that like there wasn't a Toad in the last round to snag or anything like that. Because I realized that Toads went right after I picked someone, and then Garrett said, "I'll take the last Toad." I went, "Crap! If I had done there was one more, I would have taken him." But I like you in A. I think you did well. Mario in the 3rd is a steal and a half. So yeah.
We'll see. It'll be an interesting season. I don't think I'm like as stacked as some of the other teams are, but I do think that I'll definitely be competitive and hopefully won't get relegated. Thank you, Adam.
Someone else is coming down too.
Freddie. Absolutely bailed out. Why this man loves Waluigi so? I don't get it. He had like literally the same statistical performance as Mario last season. And you're spending a first round pick on Waluigi. And he just
I am
got saved by the fact that Adam did not pick up a single captain. And got Bowser Jr. as his second. Hamilton, were you gonna say something?
I am curious to know who Freddie trots out with his A lineup. Because I think it might be Waluigi, but I think that Bowser Jr. is the better captain.
If Waluigi plays more games than Bowser Jr., that's an interesting decision.
I think it'll all depend on how like I think he'll run like Waluigi more at the start, but I think by the end of the season he'll learn his lesson. And the question
Freddie
is,
is
will it be too late?
Freddie's a second half manager. We have learned this.
But if he hadn't gotten Bowser Jr., this would be a horrendous draft. He did. Cool. Okay team. No dry bones. Does he get credit for getting Bowser Jr.?
He did it.
I'm gonna say for draft performance, I'm gonna put him in C just purely for that Waluigi pull. But that's just me. I just think that's ludicrous. All right, let's open it up to the floor.
I'm gonna go straight after Freddie.
Okay, go after it.
I'm gonna move him up to B. I think the gap between him and Adam is significantly larger than the gap between him and anyone else.
Okay, and you're talking about the gap in draft performance.
Yes.
Okay.
I would agree.
Okay.
He drafted two good captains. The order he drafted them is a little suspect, but he did. Where Adam bailed him out in his performance, but that is a bad performance by Adam more than it is a terrible performance by Freddie.
If you flipped if you flipped those 2 picks, you'd say Freddie had a good draft.
Yeah.
I'd say it was excellent. But he was saved by the auto draft man.
Absolutely.
He was bailed out.
DK, and Bowser Jr. were
He
all
could have absolutely gotten Waluigi on the turn.
yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying that comparing his draft to Adam's draft is really bad.
Yeah. Okay,
And the
I
gap,
hear your point. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, like, this is like the more you look at it, like, what is he like? Okay, yeah, I'm done. Um, how do you guys feel about like Danny's like anti-passing? I mean, it's not anti-speed anymore because he has dry bones, but he literally like his first 5 picks all can't pass the ball.
He did it last season and it worked. I hate
not
watching
only
it.
did it work, but he won.
Yeah.
But
He's got Peach.
he
He's
had
got Peach.
he had
She can
Hammerbro who's
pass.
full passing, Koopa who's balanced. So I mean, he still could mix
Yeah.
Koopa in there, but he literally, other than Peach, he will not have a single passing player. And if he runs out 3 of these 4, which he inevitably will have to a good chunk of the season, there won't even be a Koopa on the field who isn't even that great of a passer.
I won't argue it, but he'll be able to shoot the ball. Which, as someone who's run a team that can't shoot, you can't win if you can't shoot. I'm not willing to write off the need for passing quite yet.
I personally would put Danny's draft in A tier for that reason. Not necessarily that I don't think his team is S tier, but it's the same shit that I felt about Danny last year, where he could have made a better team and didn't. But I got second, he won. So if you guys want to keep him in an S, that's cool with me.
I think that's a fair point.
Well, then what do you want to do? Like, do you want to keep him in S or you want to move him to A? Give me an opinion.
I put him in S. I'm gonna keep him there. So Colin's gonna be the deciding vote.
I think just because it'll make the graphs for SPL and MLS match each other, I'll leave him in S.
Okay. With that profound reasoning, this is our final. Unless does anyone else have any changes? I don't feel strong about anything else. Yeah, I think we're good. So we got Jacob and Danny in S tier, Eric and me in A tier, Freddie in B tier, and Adam alone in D. Probably deserves to be down enough, but he can't go in the Rook tier. So that was our draft, which means all that's left now is to run it out on the pitch. And I have not really had much time and energy to look at these matchups yet. I have the schedule marked off by MLS versus SPL matchups. This is like the only week when we have a very good idea of what people are going to run. Beyond that, it gets really muddy, which is really cool, but also really bad for predictions.
Unless someone runs
well,
their B prediction at the
I would
start.
Yeah, I would argue that there's some level of we know what people are going to run, and they're probably going to run what they think is their best team. Whether we agree on what their best team is could be different. Later in the season, you might know exactly what captain they're running. You might know 2 or 1 of their sidekicks that they can't run. So you might have like a better, even like a really clear idea of what they're putting out there.
I'd like to clarify: are these BO3 or BO5?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Postseason we'll be doing more BO5s, but this season is same format, stage pick, BO, like everything the same as last season.
Okay.
Full season of BO5s, my God. All right,
Two
first
hours,
game
3 hours streams every week.
slated. We have Reed versus Jake. We I would say pretty strongly considered the two worst teams in tier two. The two youngest managers. I think it's pretty hard not to pick Reed.
I
I'm gonna.
mean, Reed's A team is good.
I'll give. I'll give Jake a game to give him some hope. Throw him a bone. Ham, what you got?
Uh, back my boy, reading 2.
Colin.
I just have a strong feeling that Jake's running out Waluigi and 3 Birdos. I think if he put the Koopa or the Shy Guy on the field, he might take a game. I think Reed's taking this one in 2. Jake also, I guarantee, doesn't even know what the map choices are.
Yep. He did tell me that he was really happy with his draft and that he had a lot of undervalued assets.
Who knows?
does does he know what value is? No, but he has assets. Oh my god! And we're week 1 pod derby with both of you having heavyweight managers.
We've both submitted our rosters.
Does
Should we
this
go
feel like tier
info
2 yet?
prediction?
Do we want to give all the information so we can make predictions?
We could. I could even pull up what maps we're playing.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Well, while Colin pulls that up, I'll go ahead. We'll segue over to the next game. Is that okay, Colin?
I already have it.
Okay, Colin's already got it.
We're going Crystal Vanilla Thunder.
Crystal, Vanilla, Thunder. I'm assuming that you guys are both trotting out your best team.
Yep.
Yeah. Ham is trotting out Bowser, Hammerbro, Drybones, Birdo. I'm trotting out Petey, Drybones, Toad, Drybones.
What a stacked game.
It's gonna be a great game to watch. Is all I have to say.
That
A lot of
map
Drybones.
pick, that map pick does concern me a little bit for Colin. Crystal getting in there, I think
I didn't want Crystal.
hampers
Did I want
the
Crystal? I didn't mind Crystal actually.
hampers the dry bonesness a little bit. And then if it goes to
That was my
Thunder,
plan.
jeez. I think for me,
These are Ham's top 3. These are Ham's top 3 map picks, by the way.
Yeah.
In that order.
I think Colin's team is too strong. Even though I do think that is a great map pool for Hamilton. Ham, what do you think about yourself?
Want to back the boys, but at the same time, I think that Colin lost out in the draft in his second captain, not his first squad. And so I will give Colin in 3.
Say the words.
I didn't... Ham in 3. Only because I didn't want the guarantee. It's the only reason I'm doing that.
Teed you up so well for it, though.
I didn't want it.
We will. Oh wait, we did have our first guarantee already. Not absolute. Thanks to
Oh
me,
god.
but definitely probably should have. And I think we'll see. I'll say we'll see more absolute guarantees involving Jake's team in the future. Another pretty stacked game. We got Dave versus Garrett. Dude, this Dave team is sick.
Yeah.
I don't know
But it's the depth that's I think good.
I'm gonna go Dave in 2. That's just a personal opinion. That's mainly just me rewarding the team that he's built. than like you said, the fact that there's that big of a gap. But I just really like this squad. Ham.
I'll go Dave in 3. I
Austin,
don't like 2 as much.
can you remind me what your Donkey Kong squad was?
Toad, Boo, and a Monty.
Toad, Boo, and Monty. Okay. Garrett's got 2 Hammer Bros, a Toad, Boo, and a Shy Guy. I'm not sure what he's going to run out there, to be honest. He's got a lot of passing. He can feed Donkey Kong. I think Donkey Kong and Luigi are both primed to continue their scoring ways. I think I do like Dave's team more, though. I'm going to go Dave in 3.
That's
I
a
don't
tough.
like that we're guaranteeing this
tough-
much.
This shouldn't be a guarantee. This shouldn't be a guarantee.
The podcast is
I'll let you finish
never
the last
wrong.
one.
Another
I
game
can't
that
wait for it.
should not be a guarantee.
Austin in
wait.
2.
I'm taking myself in 2. First
I'll
game of
join.
SPL is not going to be a banger.
I'll join you, Austin, in 2. We'll absolute guarantee it.
Austin, I have a question for you, and you do not need to answer this question, although I'm fairly confident Adam isn't going to listen to the podcast. Are you trotting out the A team, or are you gonna save some people for next week? You have, for reference, next week you are playing Freddy.
Real game.
And you don't need to answer, even if you don't know. You don't know.
I
If you
think I
don't
can.
want high voltage.
I am trotting out the A team, not it's for the long play. It's
Gotcha.
it's for how my schedule stacks up later in the weeks.
But it's not like I feel like me and Ham have just thrown out. Here's our best lineup. See if you can beat it.
Yeah, I did a little bit
You're
like
not doing that.
like I said, I did a little bit of a thought experiment, and I don't know how much logic there like I think there's some logic to the fact that there probably is just benefit to just running your best team out there as much as possible. And then even when I did try and like stagger it a little bit, just with the way my schedule works out, I can just let you guys know. In weeks 4, 5, and 6, I play Danny, Eric, and Danny. And I was just trying to prioritize having my best squad forward as much as possible during that window. So there's more, like it gets more complicated than just resting my squad against Adam.
Fair.
Got it. Fair.
But otherwise, if that was scooted up 1 week, then I 100% would be.
Can I just say, whoever made this schedule really must hate you. God.
That is a brutal stretch.
It was a wheel. There was a lot of wheels involved. There were like 4 different wheels and a randomizer.
And Danny gets to rest.
In the middle.
In
I had to
between.
play Bowser twice, and Danny gets to rest.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But anyway, that's down the line. Speaking of Danny versus Jacob. This
The first time the schedule actually makes a difference.
should be a banger. Damn. Let's go Jacob. Getting DK as your backup to Yoshi. Like, I feel like if he had, because I feel like he picked Yoshi relatively early, and if he had gotten like a Mario Bro or Waluigi, who probably should have been available then as his backup, I would feel much worse about his team. I'm gonna back the boy. I'm gonna go Jacob, partially because I think I might need to defend a guarantee here. I'll go Jacob in 3. Danny Hater.
I think Danny's trotting out his A lineup, and that's 2 Dry Bones and a Bowser, and that terrifies the heck out of me. I'm gonna go Danny in 2.
God damn. And you think you're going 3 against Colin?
I have Bowser.
Yeah. That's true.
Bowser, 2 Dry Bones, I'd probably throw the Koopa in there at the end instead of two dry bones and a Monty. But it could depend on what he's doing there. Jacob's got Mr. Monty. I'll do Danny in 3.
I think out of that's a very fair prediction of this series. I'm glad that it's not a guarantee. Because I think Jacob has, I'd say it's probably 60-40, maybe a little bit more.
I
Jake
agree.
definitely has a chance here. Could depend on maps. He's got to ban Wastelands, especially if there's two dry bones running around.
I think if Wastelands had gotten banned, that would be the most high impact. Like Yoshi stocks versus a league with
Yoshi
and without
stocks and
Wastelands.
dry bone stocks might have dipped a little bit. Probably not a ton, but
Yeah, hardly even. Eric versus Freddy. I'm gonna take Eric in 2. Especially I think Freddy's gonna trot out Walu. And if he put Bowser Jr. out there, I think it'd be a much closer series, but I don't think he is, and Eric's putting effort in.
I just don't know that I can believe that Eric's gonna put effort in, and I really want to believe that Freddie might trot out Bowser Jr. So I'm gonna cover myself and go Freddie in 3. It's a big asterisk on Freddie actually trotting out Bowser Jr. and Eric not knowing how to try, but I'd like to see Freddie in 3.
Freddy's gonna listen to the podcast, and he always gets, and this is now getting very meta because I'm talking about Freddie listening to the podcast on the podcast. And he always takes our Waluigi slander to heart. So I think the more we talk about how problematic that is, the more likely he is to do it. But now that I've said that, he's probably
yeah,
getting.
he's starting Waluigi now.
Okay, change my pick.
Actually,
no, we're not gonna metagame the metagame.
I'm looking at Eric's sidekicks right now, and I think unless he, for some godforsaken reason, trots out Double Boo, I like pretty much any combo he can make with those 5. I'm taking Eric in 2.
Damn.
And so to be clear, Hamilton, it will be a guarantee if Freddy trots out Walu, right?
Please don't. Please give me legs.
Freddy's
The
the
last
second half
thing I
manager.
need is
I
a
can't
bad
trust.
week 1, only for Eric to join the podcast the rest of the season and take Golden Picker again.
I can't trust week 1, Fred. This is the second half manager.
That's true.
I know, but like, I refuse to give Eric a guarantee week 1 too. That seems wrong.
So real quick, the stakes of what's being played for. So we now are in a 2-tiered system. So MLS, you are not playing for any sort of championship. You are just playing for a spot, a ticket into next season to try and win that chip. So we've talked about this, and it's kind of convoluted. So even now in my brain, it's hard. But number 1 team from tier 2 gets automatically promoted. 2 and 3 go into a quote unquote playoff with the worst performing teams in tier 1. In tier 1, the top 3 teams go into the actual playoffs to win SPL season 3. 6th place gets auto relegated, and then 4 and 5 go into that quote unquote playoff, the pro rel knockout extravaganza against 2 and 3. So stakes matter even now. We also have a new point system that I had completely forgotten about until this moment, where now if you split the series and a team wins 2 games to 1, the winner gets 2 points and the losing team gets credit with 1.
Oh,
was it
I was
2-1
not
or was
aware
it
of this.
3-1?
3-1 is fine. 3-1's great.
Wait, I'm confused. Explain.
So we're gonna talk about this off the podcast, and iron that out. But every game matters basically. You play every manager twice, and if you're in tier 2, you really want to be in the top 3, or you're fighting for the very top. And obviously, only the top 3 teams in tier 1 are safe. So, um, people are gonna have a lot to play for, especially as the season winds down. But other than that, I am incredibly stoked to get the season
I'm pumped.
started. Hamilton, any thoughts as we head into the start of the season?
Happy to not have a princess. Can't emphasize that point enough. But excited for this season. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And as I kind of said earlier, I'm really excited to know what the heck we're going to come up in the middle of this season, because I think this season is truly something special. But I know that we are a bunch of creative individuals who will have an idea. And now that Colin is in charge of everything stat wise, we can probably make it happen. So shout out Colin for that. But I'm really excited for season 3 to kick off and get underway.
Colin, any thoughts?
I'm just ready.
It's
He's
gonna
winning
be
week 1.
Big
and
week 1.
I do like the fact that outside of a couple of outliers, I feel like everyone has like at least one sick lineup within their team. And I think the real differentiator is how like sick that lineup is versus like how deep your team is. And we don't know what is best yet because this is uncharted territory. So, on that note, thank you to anyone who's still listening, and let's get into week 1.